Welcome to the channel. Today we're doing one of my least favorite jobs, and that is pan lubing. Now, pan lubing at its foundation is putting a ring of wax into the loop grooves of a bullet. Pan lubing then basically means that I have these cast bullets and I want to take the first two loop grooves, this one here and that one there, and I want to fill them with lube. And when that is done, with lube is the wrong word. It's basically wax, paraffin, Vaseline a little bit, and crayon. And then when that is nicely in there, then I seat the bullet and crimp it home, and then you'll have something that is roughly to what it used to be. This is a burger box, I think, left over. It does reasonably well in the heat. And you dump it all in there, you mix it up, and then you put your bullets in. So putting it in the oven and melting it, we're getting all that wax to run into the grooves of the bullet, into the loop grooves, and then we extract the head, and the wax in theory stays beautifully behind. First job of pan lubing then is we have our oven, we have our rounds inside a little box, and that box is hot. I'm running this oven at about 90 degrees, and 90 degrees will melt the mixture, and then once you have this established, it'll always stay the same. And once the mixture is melted, we can have a look at how we look. Had to put a glove on. All right, so this then is our pan, effectively. We have our mix in there. Now, the exact quantities of this stuff I can't tell you. I amend it every once in a while. You know, I add what seems right to me. And I need the color, unfortunate, because these rounds are for display, which is why I had to add the red. You can see I'm trying to line this stuff up there. I can press this out. I'm probably a little bit greedy here. I do better with fewer rounds, but you know, we'll see how we do. I'm also trying to mix the mixture of wax and what have you not, because it likes to separate a little bit. I also think we need a little bit more in there, you know. I think I might throw a little bit more beeswax in. I might also put another scoop of Vaseline, and Vaseline softens the mixture, or is meant to. These rounds are for display. They're not for shooting, and so I'm trying to keep the mixture reasonably hard. So let's put the lid on and give this some more heat. Back in the oven with you. So we've got our bullets out. The wax looks pretty good. What you can do here is, for whatever reason one of these guys falls over and spills, and you get some unsightly wax all over it that you don't really want there, you can use a cotton bud and just clear all that off again. Now obviously if you're shooting this stuff it doesn't really matter, but as these guys are for display, you want to go the extra little distance. Now other than that, we can see if we can give this stuff a quick stir. Make sure that the crayon is well distributed, but fundamentally the crayon is the heaviest part of the substance and it'll almost certainly sink to the bottom. And then finally we want to make sure we space these guys out in such a way that we can extract them all without various breakages. That's it now. We're going to walk away, we're going to let all this cool, and then we're going to try pulling all of them out. Okay. So I've given this some time to cool down, but I think it's just about on the border. I think we'll give it another couple of minutes. Well, we'll give it another 5 minutes. So I've given it a bit more time. I think that'll be just fine. We basically have two choices of dealing with this. The first choice is to take this block out and push these boys out. The second choice is to grab them with pliers and give them a tug. Now, I'm not a fan of the pliers because they'll invariably mark up the lead heads. So I actually like to extract this stuff. See, like so, in a nice little biscuit. See, I told you that red stuff would settle, it always does. We can now push these guys out. Now, I've in the past made a little rig. I sometimes use where you place it on top like that, You basically give it a push in the rear and out they pop. But it's also possible doing it by hand, but I think we're better off pushing from the rear. See, this is your ideal scenario. Now, you're bound to get a little bit of stuff come out with it. And I like to use an empty case that's a larger diameter just to get rid of any overhang. See, like that. And then that's our finished guy. If you have tiny little spaces, see, like right there, it seems to be missing a tiny bit. You can just take a flake and kind of squeeze it back into position. This is the trouble with these loop grooves, they're very thin. That looks pretty good. I think Lyman actually did one that will squeeze the loop directly on the cold die. They made some on the cold head, some sort of press, but I've never owned one, so I can't really speak to the effectiveness. Part of the reason we're having this mess here is because we're having heeled bullets. So if this would have been a straight bullet, we wouldn't have half this stuff. A heeled bullet will just attract this. We could try pulling. But see, I mean, straight out. Do you see the marks? Yeah, I think that one is going to go back in the pot. With the Diddy stuff, oh, it's horrible. The wax and stuff gets everywhere. You can try messing with the combinations, but fundamentally, the harder you make the mix, the harder it is to withdraw. The softer you make the mix, the easier it is to get out. At the same time, you have quite a tacky sort of final end product. If you want to pan loop, try and get a bullet mold that has sharp edges for the loop groove. So you don't have the sort of crap that I'm dealing with here, where you have tiny little grooves that basically don't want to hold on to any wax. It's a huge pain. Anyway, I hope this video was interesting, and I wish you better luck than I've had, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.